Hello, this is vlog number 6 of our Mexican Riviera cruise. On this day, I recap our excursion or our day in Mazatlan and also add a few things that I forgot to add to the previous days. Enjoy. And it is day 5. We are having an absolutely wonderful time. Or is it day 6? I don't know. It's Sunday. It's Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Oh, day 6. Okay. So, figured I'd try walking out on the waterfront again because it's not as bright and it's really pretty. It's actually kind of cool today. Like, there's a nice breeze. I'm wearing a long sleeve and very, very comfortable. If I was in a short sleeve, I think I'd be cold. So, anyway. Also, watching these vlogs back, and I realize I touch my nose way, way, way too much. Can't help it. It's just what I do. So, yesterday, we were in Mazatlan, which is the first time Tori and I had been there. I have to say, that's been our favorite port so far. Of any of the ports that we've been to on this side of Mexico, I think we even liked it a little bit more than Ensenada just because of how low-key it was. Like, what we did is we started off the day by I let Tori sleep because she didn't feel that well. Or no. We actually had to get up early. My bad. That was 2 days ago. We had to get up early because we docked at 7 and we were had to be back on ship by like 2, I think. And so we didn't have a lot of time. So we got up around like 7:30, 8-ish, and got off the ship around 9, and we found a taxi that took us to a place that I wanted to go, which is called like Albacar de Mar, which is this stone pool that is filled by ocean water. It's like a public pool, and I wanted to swim in it because it sounded cool because you could swim in the ocean without actually being in the ocean. But sadly, it was blocked off. I took a picture of it, but it looked really cool. It also has this big white slide that you can go down. But the beach that was right next to it, good morning, you too. But the beach that was right next to it, it was completely open and nobody was there because we had to take a taxi to the other side of Mazatlan. So I guess not a lot of tourists knew about that place yet, or like people from the ship didn't know about that area. And so there was literally 5 people on a beach that was probably a quarter-mile long. It was just completely vacant, and the waves were pretty fun. Tori got some video of me trying to body surf, and I scratched the out of my back. Got some blood on it and everything. So, but had a great time. And of course, as soon as I'm done body surfing, is whenever the best wave comes up, and would have been so much fun to ride. But I still had a great time, and then we went to a restaurant that was nearby. And they always say, whenever you come to Mazatlan, you have to try the shrimp, because that's what they're known for. Well, it was like 10:30, so a lot of lunch places weren't really open yet. And so we were looking around, and we found this one place that was essentially like a breakfast/lunch cafe. And whenever we went there, or when we looked it up on Google, it had a lot of good reviews, so figured this place, I mean, we don't have anything else to go off of, so we went there and we got, it's windy on this side. We went there and we got, turn around, octopus and shrimp mixed with like onions and carrots and peppers on top of like a fried corn tortilla, like almost a tostada type thing. And we also got a beef tail tamale. So essentially a tamale stuffed with like a beef tail meat. It tasted like pot roast. Like, I was amazed at how good this was because it was so tender. It fell apart inside the tamale just like how pot roast does. And I love pot roast. I mean, I'm from the Midwest. My mom made it a lot. It's really good. So to have that in a tamale mixed with all the peppers and the cheese and like all the other flavors, it was amazing. And then you could distinctly tell the difference between the shrimp and the octopus in the mixture, mainly because the octopus had little suckers and it had a very, very different texture. It was a lot more chewy, but it was still very, very good. like this pan dulce type cinnamon roll that Tori really really liked. I'm not that big a fan of cinnamon rolls, so but we loved our meal. I had 2 mimosas, Tori had 1, and I think the total bill ended up being like $32, and I left like an $8 tip, so I just gave them 2 20s, and they seemed very satisfied with that. So yeah, we had a great time getting some food in Mazatlan, and that's pretty much all we did. Like, we didn't really do much after that. Like, we just got back in a taxi and came back to the ship, and that was completely fine with us, because we aren't really, like, we don't need to fill the entire day to feel like we got our money's worth. We did what we wanted to do. We got some shrimp, we're mixed in with stuff, but still counts. I got to see the pool that I wanted to go in, even if I didn't actually get to go in it. So we got to do those things, and we got to see the city via taxi and got some video of that as well. It was a beautiful city. It looked a lot like Grand Cayman, like very colorful, or not Grand Cayman, St. Thomas, because very colorful. Lots of houses built up on like cliffs and stuff, and you could tell this is the more wealthy area of Mexico because most of the houses were actually finished. So after we got back on the ship, we what did we do? Morning. So we got back around 2, and oh yeah, we watched Jaws. Because that's what they were. No, when we got back on the ship around noon, but we watched Jaws down in the atrium because that's just what they happened to be playing, and Tori had never seen it, and I hadn't seen it in a long time. She liked Jaws way more than Top Gun. She said the story actually made sense, which yeah, it does. So, and also later that night we found out the Blues won, so we are taking credit for the Blues winning last night because they played the Sharks. And we watched Jaws, and since they killed the shark in the movie, that means the Blues were destined to kill the Sharks in the game. They barely won, though. Not very well, but a win's a win. We'll take it at this point. No more 8-game losing streak. So, after Jaws, I actually went and booked a massage. I got the Elimas Hot Stone Aroma Massage, and I don't like long massages. They hurt my back after like 45-50 minutes, so I just got the 50-minute one. It was so nice. So I thought what they were going to do is you essentially get a massage, and then once they get done like working on your muscles, they put hot stones on your back to kind of like let the heat radiate into your muscles and like relax them. That's not what they do. They actually take the hot stones and use those on your back while they're massaging like your legs and your feet and your neck. Oh, it was so nice. It was so needed too. Tori's not gonna get a massage because she still has a sunburn and doesn't want to get hurt. But so we did that, and then I did that like around 3:30. And then after that, Tori and I met back up, and we just went and got some little bites to eat in the Garden Cafe the Garden Cafe is what the buffet is on this ship. So we got some food at the Garden Cafe, and then went to go see Jersey Boys. I forgot how much I love that musical. It is fantastic. It's one of the only musicals I've ever seen that can make an hour and a half feel like 30 minutes. Like, it's a longer musical. I think it's like an hour and a half to an hour and 45, depending on like the show. But it goes so fast, and every scene transitions into the next scene so well. You never realize that an hour and a half has gone away because it feels like you've just been watching one constant scene, so it doesn't feel that long. And they didn't have an intermission, which they did whenever I saw it at the Fox, but it still worked very well. They did the what would have been like the first half closing curtain into the second half seamlessly. And oh dang it, son, why you gotta do that? But this is gonna be too backlit, maybe. Okay, I'll just switch. There we go. That might work. Yeah. So after Tori absolutely loved Jersey Boys, I did too. The guy who played Frankie could sing so well. I I've never heard someone like that sing on a cruise ship. He just sounded exactly like Frankie Valli. I have no idea how they did it, and you could tell it wasn't like a backing vocal because there were certain times in which they had to like stop mid-song and continue talking, and like one of the guy's mics cut out. So it was definitely live. So after that, Tori and I decided to go to the Manhattan Room, which is one of the regular dining places, and we used our card that got us a free anniversary cake, because this is our 1-year anniversary trip. Marriage anniversary, not dating. We've been together over 8 years. But we went there and I got bruschetta and some like shrimp and grits, which was really good, really cheesy grits. And then I do not remember what Tori got, but the cake we actually got this when we were on the Sky the first time. It's like a white cream cake that has this really, really light and fluffy icing on top, and that's the main reason Tori wanted to get it again. So we got our cake, came back, fell asleep, and now it's time for day 6. This is another sea day. We just have ocean blue. That's about the only thing we have planned for today, so we'll see what happens. So I'm just sitting here chatting and talking to Tori about what all we've done this week, and I completely forgot to mention 2 major things that we've done this week. So all the way back on Monday, we actually did a wine and cheese pairing. And this is something that we've wanted to do, but we haven't been able to because it's been booked up and stuff for a couple of cruises that we've been on. And we went to it's at this place called the excuse me. It's at this place called the Cellars, which is like their wine bar on ship that's like costs extra and stuff. But the show was at 2, and we went up there probably around like right after breakfast, around 9:30, 10ish. And they were already booked up, and there were 15 people on the waiting list already. So we're like, well, let's just put our name on the waiting list, see what happens. Maybe people won't show up. I don't know. We'll see. So we get there's the Maltings wine or whiskey bar right next to the Cellars, and we went there right around like 1:40 or so and got a drink and was just sitting there hoping that they eventually call our name. And we waited until about 2:10. And they looked like they were at the end, and we were about to go, and then all of a sudden we heard our room name, 13141, or 140, and we perked up and went, oh, that's us, and they almost went to the next person, and we came in and like said, that's us, and we were literally the last person they picked off the waiting list. We felt bad, because there were probably a good, like, 20 other people waiting. They probably had a waiting list like 30 people long, and they just stopped right at 15, but we barely got in. We sat next to a very nice older Asian couple, and the way this thing worked is they had a sommelier showing us and like teaching us about wine and all that sort of stuff, and she was hysterical. She was Ukrainian, and she really, really enjoyed wine. She said she loved her job because she'd been drinking wine since 10 o'clock that morning, and it was 2. And she gets to do this every day. And just like lots of humor. She taught us a lot about wine, like how to look at the clarity and the color, figure out like what type of color it is, and that normally indicates what type of wine it is. It can also indicate the age, because certain wines change in color, certain wines get darker, certain wines get lighter. And they also, so we tried 4 different wines. The first one was a Sauvignon. No, it was a Champagne. Sorry. And she recommended that you pair that with either goat cheese or like a hard white cheese like Parmesan, which is what we did. It was very, very good. And then the second one was more of a, I think it was a Cabernet, maybe. I don't know. I took a picture of it, so. But I think it was a Cabernet, and that one, she said, goes well with the goat cheese. And mainly just the goat cheese. But the 4 cheeses we got to try with it were Parmesan, goat cheese, cheddar, and blue cheese. Both Tori and I's favorite were the goat cheese, and the wine lady, or the instructor's favorite was the goat cheese as well, because goat cheese goes with everything, and it elevates all the different types of wine you try with it. Except for sherry. Sherry was the last one we tried. That one was just bad. I do not like sherry. I've tried it multiple times. It is way, way too sweet. None of the cheeses helped. The blue cheese made it okay, but I would still not recommend it. The other 3 wines were great, though. But we got like a little. Do I have it over there? Maybe. Yes, we got like a little pamphlet that kind of shows. I'll show it real quick. Like it's just 3 or 4 pages long, but this one is what's really cool about it. Is they kind of show like how you can identify different types of wine and like the different aromas. It's all BS sommelier stuff, but yeah, it was a lot of fun. But then the other thing that I completely forgot to mention we did was we went to Food Republic last night and got the tuna poke nachos. They were absolutely amazing, and I don't remember what the roll was. I think Tori took a picture of it. I'll probably put it up now, but that was definitely the best thing we've ever had. It was creamy, it had a lot of flavor, and just overall was an excellent dinner. So I just wanted to add that. I completely forgot 2 things already on this cruise. And that was vlog number 6 of our Mexican Riviera cruise. Here's some pictures of that stone pool and slide I was talking about, as well as our lunch slash brunch that we had in Mazatlan. Hope you enjoyed watching this vlog, and keep watching the rest of the series. Thank you.